Hey, what's up guys? Come back with another World of Tanks review. Now this specific review is going to be on the Tier 10 German heavy tank, the E-100. Now I picked this thing up about maybe a month or two ago. I played it out with the stock gun, and boy can I tell you that that grind was not that bad at all. However, the 15cm gun is what makes this tank. So, with that being said, I'm going to start this review now and show you guys how to play it. Alright, so the thing about this 15cm gun, which I'll go over first, even before the armor, is it's literally a TD's gun. Now, the one downside to this specific derp cannon, I guess if you may say, it has very bad accuracy, shell travel time, and penetration with standard rounds. However, if you're willing to pay the money, which, if you've made it all the way to tier 10, you're basically going to do that by now, purchased on sale, when they're on sale, or maybe if you can just stockpile when you have enough credits, buy a lot of heat rounds, because this tank right here, in order to get its max potential out of the 15cm gun, you're going to have to use a lot of heat. And that being said, what I'm going to go over later is the heat rounds are not as reliable as standard AP or say even APCR rounds as premium rounds. Due to spaced armor, like on other E-100's holes right here, or like faux weak spots such as the rangefinder and stuff like that. So you're going to be, you're still going to have to aim for weak spots. It's not like you're a TD where you can just say, oh, I can shoot you anywhere and you're going to die. It's basically, it's a super heavy tank with a massive gun. Long reload, but it's a great tank. So, before I go over that, I'll actually end up going over the rest of this gun, where it has a 3 rate of fire rounds per minute of basically a stock 20-second reload with, the standard AP penetration is 235 millimeters, with the standard AP rounds 334 with the gold rounds, which is basically a little bit above the medium heat rounds, which I believe, yes, is 330, and the HE penetration is 85. Now, on top of that, it has Tier 9 Tank Destroyer damage. So basically, the average damage on this tank is, going to be equal to that of a T95, a 704, or a T30. Trying to think of anything else that has that alpha. Not really worth going over. However, the aiming time it's not pitiful, but it's pretty bad. 2.9 seconds. I use a vert stab on it, not a GLD, because vert stabs are proven to be better than GLDs just in any situation, really. Only time you would use an enhanced gun length drive is when it's in addition to a GLD. So on top of that, I'll just go over some other things such as armor, and like I said, the Rex Timmy's tank viewer has been taken down. I still have old builds from it, but like I said, they may not be reliable with the specific armor layouts of tanks. So I'm going to go over the armor now, and yep, stay tuned. Alrighty, so the armor of this tank is basically godlike. Really only tanks that are going to have the armor that you can actually rely on with gold rounds being fired at you is literally only the Mouse, the E-100, and the T95. Possibly the E3 if you have your lower glacis covered, but that's about it. Now, the reason why you can actually rely on your armor if gold rounds are being fired at you is because of the insane angling that you can do in this tank. Now, I'll show you certain clips later in the gameplay and stuff like that about how to side scrape and, angle your turret, creating a diamond shape when you're side scraping, basically so your enemy's over there, so when they shoot it, it's an auto bounce. But, for the most part, on the soft stats of the armor, just look at this. The whole armor, upper plate at a flat angle, is literally impenetrable. You have to be looking down like this with heat rounds to even pen it. The lower glacis, however, is a big weak spot. If you angle it, it creates a greater chance to bounce. However, the lower glacis only has around 150 millimeters of armor at a flat angle. Also, with that being said, the frontal transmission of the E-100 is, it's going to catch fire a whole lot. However, if you have an automatic fire extinguisher, which I carry, you don't really have to deal with that. So basically, on paper, the front of the tank, 200 millimeters. The sides, you have 120 millimeters of armor. However, heat rounds are not going to affect your side of your tanks at all because of this spaced armor. If you look at that, in between this sheet here and the tracks, all the way into the hole is just too far for any sort of heat round to penetrate you. Now at a 90-degree angle, looking flat like this, the 268 with its 450 heat pen may be able to pen you, but that's about it. So that being said, the back of your tank is also pretty armored for scouts that are trying to circle you. They will even have a hard time penning you. At 150 millimeters of armor, however, is basically a flat angle. It's actually sloped inward, which is a bit different. Turret armor is equivalent to 250 millimeters flat. Turret armor, however, it actually isn't flat. It's at like a 9, I think it's a 9-degree angle they call it. So it's basically like 300 millimeters of frontal turret armor here, including the mantlet, which is pretty much impenetrable, unless with massive rounds and you get a high roll. Side of the turret, you got 150 millimeters. It's at a flat angle, going to be easy to pen. Same with the back. However, you can create massive, ridiculous bounce angles when angling your turret, which I'll go over later. As weak spots go, there's really only a few major weak spots other than the sides and back, which have great bounce potential. It's obviously going to be this little circle thing here on the back of the turret. Has a little bit less than 150 millimeters of armor, more like 120, but that's still kind of hard to pen for tier 7 and 8 scouts. Obviously, you got the engine deck, which artillery can just mangle and kill you, especially if you're going down a hill, and you can look downward at an E-100, shoot it in the top of the turret or the engine deck. Also on top of that, you have the rangefinder, which counts as a weak spot. This little bar here. However, this little triangular cone shape here is a no damage hitbox, which becomes a crit to the rangefinder. You do have the side ears here too. So this little bar here is a weak spot, can easily be penned. Also the inner turret ring, which is where it starts sloping inward, like this here. That there, and then mirror it on the other side as a weak spot. But you can really only shoot that if you're face-hugging the tank. So now, basically that the armor's gone over, I'm just going to go over the rest of the stats, a few other modules like mobility, maneuverability, which obviously is going to be bad because it's a huge German hunk of armor, and just go over the engine, stuff like that. Alright, so for the engine, and let me get rid of the turret. Engine is very good. The only thing is, as wargaming counts its frontal transmission as a, big weak spot for this tank to catch it on fire. They lowered it to 15% chance of fire on impact, but it seems a lot more than that. It has 1200 horsepower for a 131-ton tank, so its power to weight ratio is okay. You're going to be slow, but once you're getting up to speed, you can do a lot of ramming damage in this tank, as it weighs so much. On top of that, you have 2,700 hit points, which has been buffed patch after patch for this tank, so that just literally keeps gaining more hit points, and it's just so good to use your 150 caliber gun and use that hit point pool to really, you could just take shots and charge right at certain enemies and just kill them right at the start. So other than that, you got the speed limit of 30 kilometers an hour, which is actually pretty good for a tank of this size. You have a 22 degree per second traverse speed, which isn't too good, but if you have support behind you, you can kill tanks that get behind you. So you don't really have to worry about that if you're in a platoon. On top of that, like I said, 3 rounds per minute rate of fire. Now if you have a gun rammer and stuff like that, it gets down to around 17 seconds, basically like an E-4. Turret traverse rate is 20, which is okay. I mean, it's a huge turret, it's a heavy tank, not that bad. View range standard, signal range standard, 400 and 720. On top of that, you don't really have much other things to go over, like terrain passability obviously is going to be affected a lot since it's a heavy tank if you go in like a swampy area. Other than that, there's not really much to go over on the tank itself other than the fact that the grind is not bad at all. I'll go over that right now. Basically, how you get up to it is you go either from the Tiger P to the Tiger and up through, or you just go straight from 35T all the way in. So what I did, I obviously had the Panzer IV research for a while, just because it's an old tank and it's just for historical reasons, it's fun to play. Now, from that, you go to the 3601, which is now a Tier 6 Heavy, onto the Tiger H. The Tiger 1, Henschel, has become one of the most broken Tier 7 tanks because they made its 88 caliber cannon, just ridiculous. It has like a 5-second reload now, and it's just so broken at tier 7. So that's a good tank. That's a pretty good tank. PZ4 is obviously a great tank. Tiger 2, however, is less effective at tier 8 than the tier 7 was at its own tier. However, it's just a really fun tank to play. You know, it's an all-around good tank. Not much to deal with there. Onto the E75, which is probably the second best tier 9 in my opinion, other than the T54. It gets the stock E-100 gun, which is also considered the mouse's gun, at a tier 9 heavy with just amazing frontal armor. Even the lower glacis is good. So that's just the E75. It's pretty good all around. And then you get the E-100, which comes with the stock E75 gun, and you have to grind out, I believe it's, 64,800 experience to get the top gun. However, the 128 caliber tank gun on this is not that bad. It basically follows the same playstyle as the E75. However, you have way more armor, you have a better reload and stuff like that to deal with on the E100. So it's sufficient enough, but to the point where the 150 just carries this tank and makes it what it is. So, on to the rest of this review. I guess I'll just go over crew skills, you know, loadouts, stuff like that. And then I won't really hold much time on you because this review is actually getting quite long. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the gameplay after this. Alright, so as the crew skills go, which I'll just do really quick before the gameplay, I used this crew, actually came from my Tiger 88, which is really friggin' weird because that's a TD. So the thing is, I have 3 crew skills on basically every person on this crew except for the second loader. Now that's the only annoying thing. From the E75 to the E100, it gains an extra loader. So you're gonna have to, you know, maybe have someone from another tank take it from, say, a premium tank or a medium or something like that. Use gold to retrain it, or you're just gonna have to do what I did and recruit a new guy. So, as the commander goes, start with 100% repairs on everybody, and then when you get to 100%, retrain the commander to 6 cents and keep everyone else repairs. Now, what I actually did, which is a bit different since I have a lot of crew skills, I took the repairs off the first skills for most of the tankers, and I put clutch braking on the driver, you know, radio operator, I still have repairs, obviously. I put safe stowage on the loader. You always want one loader to have safe stowage, just in case. And then I put designated target on the other loader, just, or on the gunner, rather, to show, you know, keep tanks lit that I have, had lit myself, because designated target only works with tanks that you light yourself, and obviously does not work with artillery. So it's a good tank, or a good perk to have with this tank, you know, just to snipe out tanks, stuff like that. So other than that, other essential crew skills to have are obviously snapshot. I have that at 58%. I could change that out for the designated target, but I like that perk, so I'm going to leave that. Obviously, so really only things you need are 6 cents repairs, snapshot, smooth ride if you can, clutch braking, and off-road driving, which I have all 3 on this guy, the driver. And that's basically the crew skills. Now we'll go over the loadouts. As for shells, I carry 25 AP, which to most people is really excessive. Many people just run all gold because the heat on this tank is really what makes it. However, the thing that I, you know, like to argue is that if you're in a game where you're platooned or you can afford, you know, to not fire heat, then do it, because you're gonna save credits. It's gonna be a little bit more challenging to aim for the weak spots with your .4 accuracy and stuff like that. However, it's worth it in the long run. And if you're in, you know, a tier 10 game with only minimal tier 10s and you're firing at tier 8s, why even waste the gold? It's not worth it. So run gold rounds if you really need to carry the game or if you're in a sticky situation. But you know, I just carry a lot of AP just because I usually get close to tanks and find weak spots. So 25 AP, that's even a bit excessive. Probably like 20 AP, 20 heat, and then 10 HE. But for the sake being, I'm just going to run 25, 15, and 10. As consumables go, you know, just the standard, like I always say, repair kit, small first aid kit, and automatic fire extinguisher. So let's accept that. And that's basically it for this intro to the review, you know, just going over everything. And let's get some gameplay going, have some fun. Alright guys, so for the E100 gameplay, I'm going to be doing something that I've never done before in any of my videos. I'm going to be doing just a raw, random battle gameplay Basically, showcasing the tank in a less controlled environment. Because I mean, if it was a replay, I'd just go over, what I did wrong, how to play the tank, and certain tactics and methods within that review and that specific gameplay piece. But that's obviously a controlled environment. It's going to be a good game, obviously. So what I think is the best for the E-100 to kind of show its weaknesses and strengths all in one time is basically do a random pub battle. It's the best way to show it. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I did, I just clicked battle, and we're going to see what happens. So if I make a mistake, I can't just critique it and say, oh, I'll do this next time. It'll actually hurt, and the outcome of the game can be changed by that. So I guess we're waiting in queue, and we will see what happens. Hopefully get a good matchup. I mean, I'm on the North American West server to give myself some leeway. So the basic consensus for the West server is that it's worse, which is partially true. Depends on when you go on, though. So this looks like a pretty standard battle. Massive TDs on one side, retarded seal clubbing platoons on the left side, whatever. So this is actually a game full of good players. There are a few bads, not gonna point them out, but you can see via XVM if you really want to. I'm just gonna go and side scrape the 0 line. That's really all I can do in this map, specifically, because I'm such a big target, and I can actually eat a lot of shots for my teammates if they play conservatively. So I'm gonna get to the rock right at, where is it? Like G8/9. That little rock over there. I'll side scrape there and show you guys pretty much why this tank is ridiculously armored and how well it does when side scraping. Only thing is, if they have TDs there, they can invis-tank me to death with gold rounds. But besides the point, I might be able to push eventually. So right now, my main objective of this particular match is to let our tanks get the hill and take the basic majority of the hits for my teammates. So this is the rock I'm talking about. Let me get right here. Actually, I might be able to move up a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to move up a little bit more. Rock I was talking about was right there, actually. Kind of just derped out a little bit. That's Foch had a nice hit, 54, and it appears to me like he is boned and he's gonna die. So we got an enemy M103 coming, and I can load normal AP for him. Here we go. Got a low roll, but I'll take it. And I'm running AP right now just because I want to see what comes down this way. And in normal games where I would have to carry anyway, I'd fire all gold. Which is another thing about this E-100 that I have not really mentioned too much, is that it's one of the most expensive tier 10s to run. In pub games, that is. Take a shot on him, there's the kill. Reason why is because of the amount of gold you have to spam in this tank for it to be most effective. Is just ridiculous. I mean, only other two tanks that really have the credit sink is probably, yeah, the FV183 and the Fail-Low, because the Fail-Low is basically an E-100. Now that they have YOLO'd themselves to death, I guess we could just push this line over here, as they are slowly getting to our base, but we have amazing TDs there to help. So this game is basically looking really good for us. And yay, we have a T-32 pushing me, but I'm gonna go kill this guy. Come on, buddy, back up. Aw, damn it. Oh well, T-32 got the snapshot. Looks like there's someone behind this tank. That tank just friggin' like scooted itself. Unless that was just a weird texture. Yeah, I think that was just lag. So here we go, time to find the TDs the hard way. Probably get sniped on the way in. So nothing really has, gone on that was spectacular during this game. But as I get to their base, they will see that I am a doom cannon. So I received one ricochet there, not sure what it was from. Looks like on the front of my hull. Yeah, don't even see where it was. Ooh, and that missed. But hit the T-34. As this is basically just a last stand for their team, they can't really do anything about it. Except for those heavies up north. Here's a Rhombus, can't pen me, and oh Jesus. Well, there's a 704, and there's the fire that normally happens on this tank. Gonna get up to this rock, see if he shoots the T-32, and then I'll move forward. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get around. There's the shot on the T-32. Shoot this guy, side scrape it. Alright, he tracked me, so that was good. Let's go kill this Rhombus. 704 is still yet to be spotted. There's a Pershing over here. There's another RHM. Jesus. So many of them. There's the ISU. So they're dropping like flies. This is just a massive raffle stomp. As the Pershing wants to play. Already fired. I'm gonna go ahead and take out the Rhombus. This is more of a threat to my team. Fucking T-34 shoots me, teammate. Whatever, I'm not gonna yell at him for that. Because he's dead. Take out this 704, hopefully get a high roll. Come on, come on. Aww. Damn it, he would track me. It's a good job of that Pershing. Now I'm potentially one-shottable by the object, however I took him out. Pershing's using gold rounds. But, whatever. I approve. See the side scrape. Shoot the upper hole. Side scrape again. Time to ram him. Ha 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 ha. Alright, so this was a pretty good game. You know, just a normal E-100 game. 4 kills, 3.3k damage, that fun ram kill on the Pershing. And that's why this E-100 is just such a good tank, you know. You get massive bounces. I even got spotting damage there on all those TDs, which is pretty good. So, top of the team, 4 kills, 3.3k damage, like I said. Spotted 2 tanks, received 4.6k potential damage. Basically 2k spotting damage, capped 7 points, which is really irrelevant. 704 I spotted the other RHM, got them. This RHM, I took out his engine and track. And that's basically the E-100 in a nutshell, you know, just bouncing shots at range from those TDs. Being able to, you know, really only get penned when I crested that one hill and the 704 and Visitanked me. But I had, you know, this thing has such a good health pool that you're able to really just push and mangle other tanks before they can really DPM you down. So, that was a raffle stomp, that game. I'll have a few more clips just to really show some situations that are, you know, that I hopefully can get clips that come up. But other than that, stay tuned for the video, and we'll just do some closing stuff after I show some other clips. Alright guys, so this is a specific clip from a team training that we were doing in Reddit main, where basically I'm going to showcase just the insane ability of side scraping in this E-100 when it comes to, you know, situations, whether it be in pub play or CW or tank companies like this. Now, as you can see, I'm going to get up right to this rock, and I made sure at this specific zone that it covers my turret, and that I'm not going to be able to get shot in the top of the turret. So as you see, I side scrape here, and what you want to do when you're side scraping an E-100 is, you know, you want to show an auto bounce not only on your side skirts, which they are no way going to pen with heat, and they may track you, that's about it. But also, when you're exposing your turret like so, after you shoot, you want to line it up with the hole, creating a diamond shape from you and the enemy. So as you see right here, they can fire all they want, they're not going to pen me. So they're not even taking shots right now. And as I kind of bait them out with my turret a little bit, they try and shoot the tank behind me. However, it goes right past me. So I finish off the IS-4 Mini Marine as, look at that T-57 Heavy, whoever that is. They're just shooting the auto bounce at my specific side and my turret, and as you see, look at all those bounces. 4 bounces on the side of my tank without, you know, any damage being taken. I did take 1 shot, but that was 4 from a Waffen Tractor E-100. So basically, that's just how you correctly play the E-100 while side scraping, and it does quite well, you know, in games such as I don't even know, like maps where there's towns or any sort of building that you can get up to. The only real thing with side scraping like that is your rear end might be susceptible to arty depending on where you were, but in that specific situation, I had a great kind of, I guess, crow's nest type overpass there helping me. So I try and take the shot at the E-100, but I can't. And as you see right here, another thing of the side scrape, as the Waffle Tractor E-100 does manage to pen me, but that was in the side of the track where I was improperly angling. As you see, the back of my tank was a little bit too exposed there, and that's a good example of it not how to side scrape. So at this point, I'll just go through the rest of this video, you know, trying to bait out the T-57 Heavy and whatnot, but obviously gun handling on this 150 isn't too good. So for the most part, that's just, I just wanted to, you know, show a little bit of how to side scrape. Even here, I just do it because it's good to get into the habit of it, you know, it's a very good tactic to even, you know, show other clanmates or people who are uneducated at the game. So T-57 Heavy, ammo rack, Solish, and I'm about to shoot him, but nope, someone takes the kill. So that's basically that, you know, I'll have a few more clips and gameplay for you this video before we wrap it up, so yep, stay tuned. Alright guys, to close off this E-100 review, there's not much left to go over. However, as you saw from the gameplay, it is a very beastly tank. It takes a lot of good hits, has very reliable armor, a pretty good gun, you know, that alpha is just amazing, especially the heat rounds. However, the drawbacks to this tank are it's really sluggish, you know, you have a really long aim time and accuracy, so you have to make your shots count, and on top of that, every round you're going to be firing for the most part costs 6,000 credits. So that being said, the heat rounds in this tank are just the one death of it, in that they cost so much, and if you hit a spaced armor piece, you're going to be raging, you know, you're going to be, oh damn it, and it's just a very expensive tank to run. It is a fun tank, you know, its win rate server-wide is pretty good. I mean, mine's up to 62 after 77 games, so it's a pretty fun tank to run, you know, especially platoons of 3 with it. It's just so fun to coordinate massive pushes. It's one of the best side-scraping tanks other than the IS-4 in my opinion, and it really just can even withstand gold rounds and stuff like that. It's pretty much, it's actually a good Clan Wars tank, so I don't see any reason why you wouldn't get it. The grind up to it's pretty fun. It's just all around a really fun tank, and it's not really that hard to get. So other than that, that's the end of this review. Hope you guys really liked it. I hope I covered enough stuff within this specific review. Did make it a little shorter for the sake of time, just because I needed to get a few videos out before school starts up again. So that being said, happy tanking guys, and yeah, comment, rate, and subscribe.